All right. It's recording. It's going to be practice run 2. We're going to try to see what happens just off the riff, and we'll fix everything in post.
Okay. You want to
start off with the intro? That's how I start off. Hey everyone, welcome to the Work Time Fun Podcast. I'm your Cork Girl, and let's get started. So I'm just adding this little bit. I actually forgot to introduce my special guest co-host today, and his name is Raymond. And so, yeah, let's just continue playing on, and hope you enjoy. I was just re-listening to the last one that I recorded, and it's like, oh yeah, it's coming off of COVID and family passing, and then so that was just all. So times like that, like I'll have stuff that's saved.
Yeah.
But then this time around, I think I'm just gonna have it just.
When was your last episode? That was last year.
July 22nd, 2022. I think it's
a year and a half, almost.
Yeah, over a year. Yeah, because of October. Yeah, over a year. So it's been crazy.
And you're trying to bring this back?
I mean, I've always had ideas. Not necessarily bring it back. Well, I've wanted to, but I've always wanted others involved because it's tough doing a solo podcast.
Yeah.
I could do it, but it's just like
every podcast I listen to has at least 2 people.
Yeah, because you need someone to riff off.
You gotta, or someone to fill in the dead air when you're trying to gather your thoughts again. It's like, oh, what do I say now?
See,
someone save me.
Know where I'm from. Actually, everyone should know where I'm from because I always say this is Southern California. I always go to Comic-Con every year. So
everybody goes to Comic-Con every year.
That's true. So that kind of just narrows it down a little bit, but not really.
Yeah. So did you go this year?
Yeah. Yeah, remember?
Oh,
saw you there.
That's right. What are you talking about?
Motherfucker.
Yeah. My bad. November 4. It's the registration.
November 11.
Oh man, see, I would have missed out. I'd be in that waiting room. It's like,
you would be waiting, or you wouldn't be able to have the link.
Oh man,
like what's wrong?
Must be my spam. Yeah, Comic-Con was kind of a weird timing because the writer's strike, the director's strike, and like nothing was there. We went to Hall H on Saturday, and we went to the very front. Have you ever been that front to the very front of Hall H?
I've never even been. I mean, I walked through it, but I've never for a panel or anything.
Well, it's just a big auditorium. It's like ballroom 20 times 4. And for those who know, ballroom 20 is just another auditorium.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was where that Lumpia thing was, right?
Yeah.
Ballroom 20. Not
ballroom 20.
Yeah, ballroom 20.
The second biggest, what do you call those? Like rooms in the convention center.
Would you call them conference rooms? Because, I mean, it's a convention center, so they're conference rooms, or are they bigger than a conference?
I think they're called conference rooms. I think there's a limit. Like, if you go above a certain size, it's called something else, and you have to, charge people or something. Huh. Like, you can't have 10,000 people watch something for free. You'd have to, call it, a concert or something. That's what someone told me, in the line.
What?
It's like, you can't make these any bigger because then it becomes something else.
Mm-hmm. Like a concert or something to that degree?
Yeah.
Kind of?
You have to call it something. You can't just call it a conference room anymore. Or whatever you call these. Because they're just labeled rooms. I don't know. Well, ballroom, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I
don't know how much bigger. Well, I guess it could be. If they wanted, it could be the whole damn convention center, that's how many people go. But anyways.
It might be. Oh, go ahead. You're going to stop it.
No, I'm going to keep it going.
Oh, I feel like this is probably the peak of Comic-Con. It seems like it's going to drop off.
Think so?
No. Yeah, I think people are realizing that they don't need a convention anymore to promote their movies. Disney has their own thing every 2 years, the D23 in LA. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we see it with E3. Video game companies don't need a convention or a conference to promote their games. They can just put on YouTube or
yeah, I think when who stopped first? I don't know if it was PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo, or all of them. Once they started like, hey, I'm not going to show up, then that was pretty much the demise or the end of E3.
I think it was Sony.
Yeah,
Sony was first.
Okay.
Yeah,
because they started doing their state of plays.
Well, Nintendo's doing it first with the Nintendo Direct.
Oh yeah, that's true. Nintendo Direct.
I don't know. It does seem like a product of its time, like a pre-internet time, to have these big conventions for like video games or comics.
I mean, you could say that, but even with the writer strike and everything going on this past Comic-Con, it was still pretty packed in there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, because we all bought our badges already.
Well, that's true.
We're gonna sell them.
Yeah. Well, people could have sold them or not go. I mean, I did see some of that, but it was still pretty packed. There's still a lot going on.
I think it was also packed because Hall H was dead. No one was going to Hall H, so
that's probably true.
And Comic-Con is still an event. Like, there's stuff outside.
Yeah, I like all the outside stuff.
Yeah, which I don't like because it's hot.
No, that's true. I think I got sunburned.
I call it homeless Comic-Con.
Homeless Comic-Con.
It's like, I don't go in there. It's all the crazy, like, the religious people with their microphones, like, shouting at us.
Oh, that's just in the front of the street. You have to go back in the harbor side. That's where all the good stuff's at. Do you see the...
like what?
The stuff, all the stuff for FX?
Yeah, I walked past it. I was like, I want to go inside. It's warm.
The stuff for Rick and Morty, like all the stuff for Hulu, FX. They had a whole thing for, was it Rick and Morty? Not Rick and Morty, but Family Guy. Not Family Guy. What the hell?
What's on FX now? I don't.
Okay.
I've fallen off of FX.
Also, I have no clue.
So
there's all Simpsons type of stuff, or it wasn't Family Guy. What's the other family?
Well, because those guys weren't even there at Comic-Con this year. They're part of the strike.
Yeah.
There's like every Saturday, there's a Simpsons, Family Guy back-to-back panels at Ballroom 20, and they weren't there this year. Or is it every Friday? I think it's Fridays.
Oh. And because of everything going on, they didn't have it, right?
Well, the writers are on strike, so they don't want to promote.
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah.
They can't promote. They're not allowed to.
And what can the writers of Simpsons talk about? Like, that show's been so stale.
That's still going on somehow, some way. I'll be honest. I haven't kept up with watching Simpsons anyways, so I'm surprised it's still ongoing.
I haven't watched in like 20 years. I watched the movie, which I thought was good.
The first movie from a long time ago?
There's only one movie.
Oh, yeah.
From like 2007.
Yeah.
I was in college. I don't know, that shows, what's it, 1989? It's 34 years? It's been around. I would say, like, I've fallen off South Park, too. I don't know if you watch South Park.
Only the beginning. I haven't really kept up with it either.
Oh, I fell off, like, the last 3 years. I would say, like, of all the shows that have gone on, like, way, like, past their prime, I think Family Guy kind of holds up the best. You watch new Family Guy, it's pretty stale, but it still has, like, funny moments. I think it's, like, their style of humor. Like, they kind of I have Snickers in my pocket. It's melting.
He's got some snacks. You're ready to munch. It's all right, man.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
I got to save that.
Let me hear that sound.
That got picked up on the mic, huh?
It did, yeah. Can you hear everything? It's very sensitive. Okay, yeah. We'll cut it out. Or not.
Yeah, it fits with the Snickers joke. Yeah, I don't know. Are we transitioning to Castlevania, or you want to keep
ripping on the Comic-Con?
I have my notes here.
Yeah.
Not for Comic-Con, but...
I know, we were supposed to be talking about Castlevania Nocturne.
Nocturne.
That was the idea that we had. The main topic is Castlevania Nocturne, and then we just start talking about Comic-Con, but that's fine. Yeah, whatever goes on in our lives, it's what podcasts are all about, right?
No, podcasts have topics. Otherwise, I wouldn't download it. It's like, I don't know.
It goes off the tangent.
It's just a tangent for 2 hours. Like, I don't want to download that.
That's why I'll add a little snip in the beginning. Okay, a little bit of
skip to 1 hour and 30 minutes.
If you want to get to the actual talk, here, go to this time mark. I'll make note of that. All right, there you go. Just snap for me to remember to do that on post. Anyways, Castlevania Nocturne.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. It's an animated series based off the popular Castlevania video game. I think I first played it on Nintendo, I believe. I don't know if there's any other origin for it.
No, it's Nintendo.
Okay.
Nintendo's here.
Probably Nintendo. And then I was like, I know we actually had the original Castlevania series, which I did watch like the first 2 seasons. Then I kind of stopped, and then when this new one came out, I was like, oh, cool. So I watched this, and then likewise, I'm sure you and our mutual friend Marky, and then we're like, hey man, let's go talk about it. It's like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Yes, at Panera.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know. We were just hanging out. It's like, hey, you want to talk about it? Sure.
Yeah. So we were in the middle of watching it at the time, I think. So it's like, I mean, it's fresh in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are we starting? Like, what'd you think?
Yeah.
Overall, I guess.
Overall, how should I say?
Oh man, we're gonna argue already.
Yeah. I mean, if you if you hear reviews, read about it, it's like, oh, everyone's praising it, and like, I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was like anything great. I enjoyed it, but when I went back to watch the original Castlevania series to finish it off, because I need to finish season 3 and 4, I was like, oh man, I think I like the original series better than Nocturne. But that's just how I felt. But then again, it's like, okay, the original series is actually more fresh in my mind versus Nocturne. And it had a more lasting impression because I felt like there was more, what did I say? Castlevania original series felt more, more visceral. I don't know how, because it seemed more at stake.
Bloodier?
Yeah, bloodier, more grittier. Just the way that Trevor, how he's just kind of a normal human with like special whip and like different weapons.
Yeah.
Versus who's a guy in the new one?
Richter. So yeah, that's why I have this. Have all the names written
for
down.
The notes. Yeah. Richter Belmont, and then he's like, okay, he's got his magic whip, and then he's got a little bit of magic powers, but.
Are there spoilers in this, by the way? Or?
Oh, yeah. Should we talk about spoilers?
No, well, I mean, while you're... I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't talked about anything yet they haven't seen on trailers or basically what's happened, so
I'm sorry, go on.
I won't spoil anything yet. Okay. Spoiler warning.
Yeah, just in case on accident.
Yeah, just in case.
You know.
But I think if we're going to talk about Castlevania Nocturne, are we going to do the whole thing or just episode 1 or...
I mean, I don't memorize the episodes.
Yeah, no. I know
what happened in each episode.
That's true. For me, if I was gonna review each one, I kind of have to have it on screen while I'm going, just so I remember what happens all throughout that timeline. But if I'm not gonna have that all up on my screen, then I'm just gonna go like, okay, everything I remember from watching it and the feeling that I have from it. And so, yeah, I mean, Richter Belmont. I mean. I guess it goes in with showing that he's still young. Like, I don't know, he's a teenager at that time or in his 20s, something like that?
Yeah, I forget the time gap. It said 10 years later after the beginning.
Okay.
Or 9 years later.
Okay.
So I'm probably a teenager.
Yeah, he's got to be teenage years.
Like 6 in the beginning, or he doesn't watch his mom die. That's not spoilers. That's opening scene.
That's not spoilers. Yeah, that's the beginning. That's first episode. In case not everyone knows. So, he's got to be a teenager.
Yeah.
And...
At least 18.
Yeah. so he's coming into his character. Yeah. So his first season is all about getting introduced into this new Belmont who has magic powers. Which I guess it's similar to... is he the actual character that was used in the original Castlevania video games?
Richter is from Rondo of Blood. Which is the best Castlevania game. And he's also in the beginning of Symphony of the Night, which I think is mostly everyone else's favorite.
I've heard of that.
Oh, you haven't played it?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Actually, I was thinking...
It's on PlayStation 4. And essentially 5, because...
Because you could play it there.
Yeah. I played on the Vita.
Oh, you're going to get your PlayStation Portal? Did you order it?
No, I don't have a PlayStation 5. That's an investment. It's like $700.
Well, the new one. Oh, wait, we're getting off tangent again.
Yeah, well, the new one's the same price. But yeah.
Well, looking at the new one, they got the new PS5 Slim.
It's the same price.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to go too far off tangent, but the PlayStation 5, last time I checked, has 9 exclusive games. I can wait. I can probably wait a while. It's weird how slow the release schedule is for that console. It's like successful.
You're actually going to burn through all 9 games that quickly?
Well, I mean, when did this thing launch? 2021. We're almost 3 years in.
Yeah, that's true.
2 years in.
But then, to be fair, I mean, you don't have the console yet either.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a PS4, and I think I can pretty much play mostly what's on PS5.
Yeah, I mean...
The new God of War is on PS4. I didn't even know that.
Well, that is true. Which one? You mean...
The new one, the
Ragnarok? Okay.
I haven't played either of them, but...
That's on PS4 still. Yeah, a lot of them. Even Horizon, if people have played Horizon. If you have played Horizon.
I haven't played... I'm so out of the loop on Sony games.
Oh, man.
I just played Uncharted 1. I was like, man, this is okay. I think it was probably cool at the time. But anyway. I have a PS3 also. That's why. Okay. Played Uncharted 1.
Yeah, on PlayStation
Saw the movie
for
too.
life.
We should review the movie next.
There you go.
Time.
Movie? Yeah. Anyways.
Go ahead.
Back to Castlevania.
Yeah, so he's from Rondo of Blood. And then he's in the beginning of... Oh, no, he's also in the end of Symphony of the Night. But I won't spoil it.
Yeah.
So him and Alucard are connected. Alucard is the big spoiler. But yeah.
Are we spoiling the game or spoiling the show? Are we spoiling both?
Alucard spoils the show because that's like the very last scene, right?
Oh, spoiler. No.
I thought you did that already.
Yeah, we already did. Yeah. We're going to talk about the whole series here.
Yeah.
Whether it's the beginning, the end, the middle, whatever. So if you haven't watched it all, well, tough luck.
Yeah, lots of singing.
Just kidding. Actually, stop. Watch it if you care. If not, then just keep listening.
Oh, man, I'm sorry if I spoiled Alucard, but if you play the video games and you see Richter and Maria, Alucard has to be in it because he's integral to like the game, I guess, with those two characters in Symphony of the Night. I don't know.
Is it similar to the relationship that they had with Trevor Belmont and Sypha? Sypha? What's her name?
It's Sypha. It's pronounced Sypha in the cartoon. Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't really follow the story in the games.
Okay.
Alucard is with Trevor and Sypha in Castlevania 3 for the Nintendo. And there's also a fourth character. I don't know if you know. They did put him in the cartoon. His name is Grant. He's like a pirate. There's 4 characters in that game, but they only used 3 of them for that first. I don't know. I can't say, because to me it was just an action game. I didn't care much about the plot.
Speaking of games, did you know that if you have Apple Arcade, that they have a Castlevania game you can get?
That's unique to Apple Arcade?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Let me see. I was actually thinking about picking it up just to play. I mean, because I have Apple Arcade with the whole Apple.
I've been wanting to get it, because one of my favorite games of all time was ported to it.
Here, I'm going to show it to you.
Oh, Grimoire of Souls. I've heard of it.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. It says you have a lot of the characters, especially Alucard, Simon Belmont, Charlotte, Shanoa, Maria, and more to come. It's actually been out for a while.
Yeah, I think that's based off an old mobile game.
Also, they do have Symphony of Night, but you have to buy that. So,
and play with the controller if you can. Button
nice.
Controls just don't make sense to me. I mean, I'm sorry, touchscreen controls.
Touchscreen, yeah.
For those kinds of games.
That's true. PS4 control. But anyways, back to Castlevania again.
Yes.
Nocturne.
Did you? So you're saying overall, you liked it, and that's pretty much it.
If we're gonna cut down to nitty gritty, okay.
Are you gonna say what you don't like now?
No? I mean, the one thing I've been trying to work on in my podcast is like, what kind of rating system do I do? I should have a rating system. Like, that's something I'm probably gonna be working on. That's something we'll discuss off time.
Oh, I see.
But
you can say I liked it and I didn't like it as your rating. It's either 1 or 0.
Let's see. Since this is a Work Time Fun podcast, it has to be something about work. How many cups of coffee? No. How many?
I didn't know that's. Is that why is it called Work Time Fun? Because
Work Time Fun.
Because you're the coworker.
Yeah,
that's in your intro.
It's funny because it was never really supposed to be Work Time Fun. It's an old play on words that some of my other friends used. It's because if you do just the first initials of each word,
Oh, okay, I didn't catch that.
WTF?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I didn't catch that originally.
Yeah, so it's just like WTF. It's just our way of saying that without saying the actual words. We say, oh, work time fun.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also...
it's like, what the fork?
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We had a fork framed at my old job. And he said, what the fork? I think it's the same inside joke kind of thing, where it's like...
Just
go on.
But anyways, yeah. Work time fun. WTF.
Okay, I get it.
And then...
But we don't need you don't need a work motif.
Yeah. I don't need it, but I mean, it's in the name.
Well, start your rating now. Let's make it out of 5.
Okay, out of 5.
5 coffee cups or whatever.
I'll give it a... Since it's just the beginning, I'll give it a benefit of the doubt. It's, out of 5, 3.5, 4 out of 5.
Benefit of the doubt. You're kind of negative on it, huh?
Me? A little bit.
Okay.
I'm a little bit negative because, like I said, I think I enjoyed the original Castlevania series more.
Yeah.
But it's only because that I watched the whole series. So I'm trying to be fair because, there's going to be a second series that pops up.
Second season at least.
Yeah, second season, of the series. And, you're kind of left on a cliffhanger because they're about to attack that whatever Messiah vampire.
It's
Ursabit, yeah.
Ursabit, who's from, except played all the games, Bloodlines for the Genesis.
Dang, this guy, he's got his notes right.
Well, what's that? Castlevania Anniversary Collection for Switch, PS4. Buy it, it's fun.
Dang, I do have a Switch. Well, my son's Switch.
Well, you have on PS4, Xbox. Have you heard of it? The Castlevania Anniversary Collection?
Nope. I only know Castlevania 1, 2, 3, and...
Well, it has those on it. It's a collection of all the
old... it's a collection of the games?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually pretty
1, 2, 3, Castlevania 4 for Super Nintendo, Bloodlines. Oh, and the 2 Game Boy games. And one other one, like Kid Dracula or something. It's fun.
And if you guys didn't pick up, I guess you can tell Raymond's really into the retro games.
I love Castlevania games. I even bought the Advance Collection, which...
For Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, all 3 Game Boy Advance games were ported to Switch and PS4 and Xbox One, if they're still owners of that.
Okay, I'll just look more into that.
Yeah.
See, me, but for me, I just play a few games and then I get more into like all the different shows and movies, especially superhero stuff. That's mostly what I talk about. Mm-hmm. And so, getting into this one, I thought it was cool. Like I said, I have to give it more time because I feel like, okay, now they left it on a cliffhanger at the end of this first season. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh man. And then Alucard just shows up out of nowhere, kind of saves them all. And then, actually, he looks more badass in this one. He was more serious looking, and because in the original series,
there's no threesome with like Japanese twins or whatever.
Japanese like twins that
I was like, oh, where they go with this? Like, oh, that's that's where they went.
Yeah. I was like, nah, this is too good to be true, even for a threesome with siblings. Come on.
Yeah, well, I will say that first Castlevania, kind of horny. Like whoever wrote those episodes, the Hector subplot with I forgot their names. I didn't write those down.
Oh, the vampire girl.
Yeah, he's like a slave. It's like a sex slave to her.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, someone clearly is kind of what do you call it? Projecting their fantasy onto the show, because Castlevania in the game is not as horny as that show was.
Yeah, it's actually about killing the monsters and stuff, right?
Yeah, but I think I don't want to Google it, but I think Warren Ellis, the writer of the first show, I think I read something that he is kind of perverted, and I think he got in trouble. That's why he's not writing for the second show.
Oh,
yeah,
that's why.
But
no wonder why I don't like the second show as much.
He's a good writer. I mean,
it's missing the horniness.
There's some, but it's not as
it's not as perverted as the first one. Let's just put it out there.
A bed with Japanese siblings.
I'll say the first one is pretty perverted. I mean, not
horny, perverted. Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, the things that they do and that.
Those are the two that I remember distinctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just the treatment of the characters, it just seemed a lot worse. Like in Nocturne, okay, the worst thing that happens is, okay, their friend or family member dies because of something. But
Yes.
it's not like overly like graphic of how should I say?
You like the Mortal Kombat arcade violence where their heads like get lopped off.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I noticed, I think when Trevor hit someone with his whip, they would explode.
Oh yeah. That tip like it engulfs in flames.
Yeah, Richter doesn't have a whip like that. He just whips them.
Is that a thing in the video game? Is there different types of whips?
There are, but I don't think there's an well, I didn't play all the games. Yeah, there's the Morning Star.
You'll play definitely more than me.
There's the Vampire Killer. I think that's what Richter has, is the Vampire Killer. It's just the name of the whip. I don't know if it's anything special.
That thing seemed like it killed a lot more things. Because it was a chain whip, right? It was chain.
Yeah, it's called the Morning Star. It has like a little ball and spike at the end.
A Morning Star is usually a mace type weapon. Isn't that usually what it's referred to?
Well, it could be, but at least in the Nintendo game, it's a whip.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, maybe, yeah, because it just extends as a chain. And that thing is deadly in a sense.
It has like explosive, like poison tipped barbs on it or something. Yeah, it looked like this whip was more powerful than the first.
But he did use two, because when I watched towards the end, he did have his other.
I think he got the Vampire Killer and the Morning Star.
Yeah, so he had a regular whip, and then he had his chain link whip, and he was using both when he was fighting that. Who did he fight at the end? It wasn't Dracula. It was like the other weird monsters. Everyone trying to resurrect Dracula.
Was it Death?
Oh yeah, it was Death. Yeah,
yeah.
Which was funny. It was like Death as a concept. It's like Death was just a being that loved to consume death. I don't know. So I guess I don't know. Anyways, it's more about Nocturne and not about the original. I mean, they're related though. I mean, just like this. So it's 300 years. I mean, I read a little bit. I got some notes in my head too. So between Nocturne and the original series, about 300 years has passed.
Actually, I don't even know.
Yeah, about 300 years.
Okay.
I read about it. And then that's why that Richter Belmont in Nocturne, he has magic powers because he's actually a descendant. It started with Trevor and Sypha.
Yeah.
Because Trevor didn't have magic powers.
Right.
He only used whatever he had, his physicality and his weapons. And Sypha being the magic user. And by the end of Castlevania series, you find out that she's pregnant. And with Belmont's child, obviously. And that
not Richter. It's like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's 300 years.
It's juiced.
300 years down the line. So...
Yeah.
Yeah. Between whoever all the characters are.
So I wonder if Dracula's even going to make an appearance in the show. He's supposed to be resurrected every 100 years. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Or did they say that in the first show? I feel like
something like that.
He comes back every 100 years or something. Yeah.
I read it somewhere. It's like he always gets resurrected by someone. But even in the last, the other series, he was resurrected with his wife, Lisa. But he wasn't like on a killing rampage. They were just wanting to just explore the countryside.
No, the Dracula they had in that first show was very like sympathetic.
Yeah.
Like he was too nice.
Yeah. The only time he got angry was because his wife was killed,
they burned her at the stake and had this face in the sky.
Yep, and then
that's season 1. I remember that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And that's the whole reason why he got upset and wanted to kill everyone, just because of that. But then when he was back with his beloved or whatever, then he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm chill, man. I have my latte with my."
Yeah, they like stuck into like a hotel or something at the end.
Yeah, that was the end.
Yeah,
and then the wife's like, "Oh yeah, let's leave our poor boy alone. He's been through enough. I just want to go travel." It's like, "Okay, my dear," or something like that.
Yeah, so
that's how it ends. And then, boom, boom, boom. Later on, you got Castlevania Nocturne. Like, what the hell is this going to be? It's going to be about. And then, is Castlevania? It's not necessarily anything about Dracula wasn't really mentioned, except that, oh, you're part of like his lineage, Belmont lineage is about, killing Dracula or vampires in general. But I don't think there was anything yet about resurrecting Dracula in there, was there?
Not that I heard of. It looks like this Ursabet is the main villain, but it's just weird that it'd be a Castlevania show without Dracula. Like, I mean, Alucard's in it.
Yeah.
And the first show, they had Dracula only lasted like 2 seasons, right? And then they switched to like Carmilla and all these women.
Yeah.
Women vampires.
The ones who took over. So it kind of makes sense because you can have other more powerful vampires that could be, the antagonists for the show, the series.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be Dracula, or Dracula could be Endgame. But the way that they made Dracula in the series, I feel like it's we don't really need him because, like you said, he's sympathetic to people. He's not going to be the ruthless killer that he's been known for.
You think it's going to be this Ursabet for the entire series?
That's a good question. At least for the next season. Well, obviously, because, she just kicked all her ass.
At least season 2.
Yeah, for at least season 2. And the way that Richter Belmont's progressing, I mean, how much more of a power-up is he going to get? He just unleashed his magic powers, near the end, right?
Yeah.
And then it's whoa, his grandpa that he never knew was, all surprised. So I don't know if he's going to become the more powerful version of Belmont, with magic powers and with his
I think his
whips.
Grandfather said he had powers too. He just...
Yeah, but he lost them.
He lost them or something?
Yeah. He said he was the most powerful magic user.
Okay.
Yeah. He mentioned it in the series. So the grandfather did, I mean. He didn't even need to use his whips because he could just burn a hole.
Juiced Belmont.
Juiced, yeah.
He's from the Game Boy Advance.
Ah, so is that... all these little references here. See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like these tidbits.
Well, I think what I like about... I think what's clever about these shows is that there's not much story in the games. Mm-hmm. So they can take a lot of creative liberties.
Gotcha.
I don't think Juiced is the grandfather of Richter in the games, but nobody cares.
Yeah. Whatever flows with the story.
Yeah,
right?
it's just, hey, Juiced, I played him at the Game Boy Advance game. Mm-hmm. And that's what he looks like. He has the long white hair.
Yeah, I remember hearing of Simon Belmont, but I don't know where he fits into this history.
Well, Simon's the OG.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't have Simon Belmont. I feel like maybe he's too sanitized. Kind of like a Mickey Mouse.
Maybe.
We don't want to take too many liberties with Simon. He's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because that's the one from the original games, right?
Yeah.
That's who I'm familiar with as far as Castlevania and the Belmont, Simon Belmont. And
he's solo. He's solo. He fights by himself.
Yeah.
You need characters. Trevor had 3 in his game, and Richter has Maria.
Maybe that's why. It's not a very compelling story if you only have one character. Right?
Yeah.
A solo traveler.
But then again, they could just take creative liberties and just grab them from other games.
That'll be another series I do in the future. They do a 3rd series.
If this show takes off.
Yeah, if he keeps going. I mean, I think so. You said I was a little bit harsh about the show or rating the show, but I still enjoyed it. I still thought
I'd probably give it the same rating. Just seem it's benefit of the doubt. It's it's bad.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna wait for it to be good.
Yeah. See, that wasn't bad. 3.5, 4 out of 5. That's a good rating. It's solid.
Yeah, it's a C minus.
Yeah, C minus, a B.
Well,
C minus is 3.5.
Number is a C minus.
C minus. That's fine.
C, 3.5.
A solid C.
7 out of 10.
That'll be a C. Solid C.
I'd probably give it the same rating. Mm-hmm. The show's starts out pretty slow, and then picks up second half. They just have a lot of characters that they're trying to introduce, and I think that's kind of what weighs the show down.
Yeah.
You have, and I wrote them down. Outside of Richter and Maria, you have Annette, the slave, runaway slave.
The slave girl.
Edward, the singer.
Edward.
Here's one you don't know. You probably don't forget his name. Mizrak.
Which one was that one?
He's the soldier who sleeps with Olrox.
Oh, Olrox.
Yeah.
And Olrox is
he's a character. It's oh, man.
Olrox is the vampire that killed Richter's mom.
Yes.
In the beginning.
But he's somehow kind of a good guy, right?
Well, I mean, I listened in towards the end, Olrox mentioned that Richter's mom killed some beloved of his.
Yeah.
And that's why. So he took revenge on her.
Yeah.
And that's why he said, hey, I left you to live. I could have killed you 1,000,000 times over. But
he will kill him later.
Oh, yeah?
So they might have a showdown later on. Okay. Or they might be I forgive you. You saved our lives.
Yeah.
I think I don't know about Olrox. I don't know if he's from a game. He might be half human, like Alucard.
Well, another half human vampire.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of redundant. Maybe they'll kiss, because that's where the show likes to go.
Yeah.
They like to get horny.
With Ms. Rack. Was that the only one horny thing between two dudes?
Yeah, that wasn't that bad. I mean, they're in bed. They're already done.
And everything was covered up.
That was more like romantic than horny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely not season 1 vibes of horniness.
No, you can tell it's a different writer.
Yeah.
I know what do you think about the singing?
Which one? The singing?
The singing in general. There's a lot of singing in this. I remember Marky said, kind of hinted he didn't like it.
I mean, from more than just Edward or Edward?
I think Edward was the only one. He's
definitely the main one.
He sings a lot.
Well, that's because it's supposed to be a deeper meaning, because he was supposed to be reaching into his soul, and then like he was able to reach the other night creatures' souls through his singing, right?
And it kind of leads to like something I think is going to be an underlying theme here, because it's like kind of like a French Revolution backdrop,
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
I don't know if it's actually a French Revolution, but it seems like
Yeah.
There's like a theme of like slavery, like being enslaved and breaking free, and I think what's that, the night creatures? I think his ability to sing kind of brings like humanity out of him or something.
Creatures, yeah.
And they might not be able to be controlled. And I feel like that's going to be a thing. So I think it's this undercurrent of being enslaved, breaking free, and I think music is. There's gonna be some philosophical like nonsense about how singing is like human,
Yeah,
like humane or whatever.
or not even philosophical, because there was a lot of times, I'm not sure if you know the history, but in slavery they would use music
to give hints. Yeah, that's another parallel.
Yeah. And then they would use music because they weren't allowed to to practice their religion or talk about certain things, and then so they would use music to be able to express themselves and to be able to actually communicate.
They're singing hints about
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be I figured there's going to be a scene, there's going to be a big fight, and the good guys are losing, and they look on the horizon, and they see Edward the demon, and all his night creatures behind him, and then someone's going to be like someone's going to say like, I can't control them, and he's like, do you control them now? And he's like, I don't control them, they have no master, as if like they're freed slaves, and they're going to run, and they're going to turn the tide of the fight around. And it's to be kind of forced, I think. But I think that's kind of where they're going with this. We're going to see that. Because they really played into Annette's background a lot, about her slavery roots.
Yeah, with Edward and the whole... I mean,
she has a whole episode dedicated to her.
It was with when she escaped, and then she became a part of that group, right? That whole magic user slavery group.
Something like that. Ex-slaves. Or it was like something she had that she was able to bring out of her. I kind of forgot that episode, actually.
Yeah, it was it felt like a filler episode. I mean, it's background story for sure.
Yeah, that's why the show starts so slow, because they have so much backstory to fill.
Maybe that's part of the reason why, because, reason why I didn't like it as much as the first one, because you're trying to understand all these different characters, and you're trying to, I don't know, feel for them or get to know them. Yeah, and then it's like, you're not just focusing on the one or two guys, you're focusing on three or four of them. Because, not only you got Richter, then you got, is it Maria and the daughter?
Maria is the daughter.
Yeah. And then, who's the mother?
Aunt Tara, or Tara.
Tara, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's also kind of like the adoptive mother to Richter, right?
Yeah.
Sort of, in a way.
They know each other, because in the beginning he says, I don't want to visit Aunt Tara.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I guess they know the Belmonts. Yeah.
So they have some ties somehow.
Yeah.
And then you got Annette and Edward, and then...
Yes, and Olrox and Mizrak.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, and then we're gonna add Alucard, who doesn't need a backstory anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that's where this show kind of... I think Richter's was the worst, because it's like, there was no build up to him when he had his magic come out of him. It's like he just kind of hinted like, "Oh, I used to do magic, but not anymore." Mm-hmm. And it's like that's it. And then we have an episode of him because it's like episode 6. We got to move. We got to get to the end. It's like let's just have it come out of him now.
So I think they just kind of pushed the narrative there, just to.
Yeah, and he's the main character. Mm-hmm. Like I think they just had too much to work with, and they only had 8 episodes, or 7, because the 8th is the one where everyone fights.
No, yeah. Let's get to that moment. So it was like the episode after he runs into Olrox, right? And he's like, freaked out. He runs away, and then he happens to bump into his grandfather somehow. And then, and then
like at a bar or something.
Yeah. Then you have a whole other set of vampires or creatures that come after him in retaliation for that attack they did and failed. Right?
I don't know why they showed up, but they showed up, just to.
But anyways, no, it was a retaliation because of the attack that they did when they were supposed to.
That they just did.
Yeah, in the dungeon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they failed, and then Richter ran away. So that was a retaliation. They're going to kill him. Okay. So. I guess I could see where they're going with it, but like you said, it felt forced, right? Like, oh my gosh, he's now his life's in danger. Now it's gonna all his magic powers that he's never really shown anything before.
Yeah,
he's never even there's no inkling of showing how much he had. Yeah, or potential even. It's just. Oh, it just
or him erupts. Trying to bring it out, but he can't.
Yeah, it's just out of nowhere. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let me just waste you all with my magic powers now that I have it. It's like okay.
He needed 2 more episodes.
Yeah,
but then the show probably drag.
Yeah, or it needed something to show that it built up to that. I mean, they could have done it throughout the previous episodes. I think.
Well, one episode's a flashback entirely of Manette's.
Yeah, that's true. How many episodes did it take? What was that, the 5th?
That might have been 6 or 7.
Might have been the 6th. So I mean, even minus the Annette episode or some other one, or even the Terra one with the whole Russian thing or wherever they're from, they still had the 4. He could have shown inklings oh yeah, he tried to use it, but it just didn't work for him, so he just resorted to his whip instead, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. He's trying to bring it out of him. Yeah. It's I used to be able to do this or something.
Yeah. There should have been some situation his weapon somehow got knocked out of him or something, and he tried to use magic power, but then he gets saved by Annette who has magic power, there's someone else with magic power, or the little girl, Maria. Yeah, somebody.
And also, I don't, the chemistry between Maria and Richter, it's not quite there. It's she rolls her eyes every time he says something. And he rolls his eyes. It's you guys just Seinfeld.
Well, I mean,
Trevor and Sypha, kind of a parallel. Mm-hmm. Their chemistry seemed more genuine.
Well, I read some. I mean, they're not really shipping Maria and Richter. I don't know if that's what
they're supposed to be friends.
Yeah,
because she's underage.
Okay. Oh yeah, minus the horniness. So no pervertedness here. Yeah, and they make it out to be kind of more a sibling relationship, if you kind of get that. I mean, that's the feeling I get when I see and watch and hear their interaction between Richter and Maria.
Does it seem natural that they're... they bounce off each other?
It doesn't seem natural, but it gives a vibe of, sibling.
Sure.
Kind of.
They don't need a romantic entanglement.
Yeah. But because the romantic entanglement is between Annette and Richter.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
But even that, I don't even see it yet.
Yeah,
I know they look at each other.
Yeah, there's a slight hint towards it. Yeah,
and in the game, they are a couple.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, as a spoiler.
Okay. Oh well.
But I mean, Sypha and not Richter, Trevor.
Yeah.
Even if they're romantically entangled, you could see they can bounce off of each other. Their personalities work.
That's true.
It seemed like they're trying to copy that, but they didn't build to it.
Yeah, it doesn't have that same.
They didn't develop
feel.
it. Yeah.
It doesn't have that same chemistry.
They lack chemistry.
Yeah, there's no chemistry in this one.
She calls him a wanker. Why is he a wanker? He made a joke, but she makes jokes too. So it's
I'll be Nocturne. Although I enjoyed it, a lot of it was forgettable. Does that seem fair? Like, in the sense that, okay, you have all these characters, you have all these things, their backstories, but it's like, none of it really seems to stick. Like, I've watched it, I kind of know it, but it doesn't stick with me. Like, it's not relevant, it doesn't feel relevant to, like, the story of Castlevania, of this series. Sort of. I don't. That's
it's been quiet.
Yeah. I'll cut that part out.
It's
only in this. How should I say?
Well, what's forgettable? Like,
what's forgettable? It's forgettable.
I know Mizrak is because you forgot who that was.
As soon as you mentioned with Olrox, I was like, oh yeah, I remembered. But forgettable in the sense that, or there's no real connections, no real chemistry with any of the characters with any other character.
Yeah,
because
I would agree with that.
Okay, like in the beginning, okay, you got Richter and his mom. It's like her passing happened so quick. It's just like it's whatever. I didn't feel like there's any real connection between him and his mom. I get it. It just happened right at the beginning.
I don't know if we needed that scene.
Yeah, it's like, well,
they could have saved time.
You kind of do because you still need to show why Richter was so afraid of Olrox.
I think they could just reveal that slowly through like quick flashbacks.
Oh,
like
yeah,
he sees Olrox, he sees a
yeah.
quick flashback of his mom.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he must have killed his mom.
Like, if they had more stuff in like present time and then they had flashbacks to when that happened.
Yeah.
I think that would have probably better suited the show.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't have to be like that whole beginning intro.
Yeah, because I mean that's kind of seeing someone like seeing your parents get killed. It feels like a superhero trope. Everyone's parents gets killed. That's what motivates them to be superheroes. It's like Batman, you know. It's
I knew you'd go right there. That's the first thing that came to mind. Yeah.
It's like I get it. Like, dude, you're an adult. Like
Yeah.
your parents died like 30 years ago. Get over it.
Oh, that was 9 years ago, like you mentioned.
Oh, okay, I'm talking about Batman.
Oh, okay. Oh no, he's been like that forever. That's another awesome movie I like. Well, that's for another time. But yeah, I agree. There's things that just the flow of the show, I guess, could have been better. The storytelling, not the flow, the storytelling for sure. It doesn't feel as rich. It doesn't feel as developed as the first series, the original series.
Yeah,
So,
I think the original series was much simpler.
Yeah.
Right, it's just fight Dracula, and here's the son of Dracula.
Yeah. Here's a guy that's gonna fight him. He meets some people along the way, and then.
And I get because if you look at the first show, Trevor has no backstory. He's just Trevor. He's just a guy with he's like Han Solo. Well, Han Solo has a backstory because they made that stupid movie.
Yeah, which was never needed.
Well, yeah, like you let the viewer like fill in the blanks of like who Trevor is. That show was more like Alucard's like backstory and Dracula. Yeah. Here, I felt like they couldn't do another Trevor, so Richter has to be a crybaby. Richter has to cry, has to be vulnerable. Because it's like, well, it's just another Trevor, just Richter. So I think that's why they went that route. And lost where I was going with this. What were we talking about before I brought up Trevor?
Just what were you talking about?
Oh no, okay. I was gonna say it's simpler.
Oh yeah, yeah. The storyline is simpler.
I do think what this show does have an advantage over the advantage this show has over the original one. It does something it's more ambitious in the storytelling. In that, we're gonna explore slavery. We're gonna have, what do you call it? A night creature who is aware that he's human, and we're gonna explore that. I thought Castlevania. I know they had what's his name, Isaac, go on that journey where he's the bald guy, right? He controls the night creatures.
Oh yeah.
He goes on this journey and becomes good. I didn't buy that.
By the end?
Yeah, because he never talked to a human being before, and it's like remember he talks like a captain on a ship for like a while. And then he becomes like, oh, people are nice. I didn't know that. I thought all people were bad. Because he was a slave, I think.
Yeah, he was a slave. I mean, he was a damaged soul. I mean, not damaged soul, but he was a damaged person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd been through a lot of shit. Between
I think he was a slave, like Annette.
Yeah. and then just being pretty much
just so full of hate.
Yeah.
But that journey, like, that's all you have to do. You have to talk to like 2 people.
But I mean,
and now you've come full circle.
That's what we see. But I mean, it's the progression through the multiple seasons also. 'Cause, I mean, it took how many, from season 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's because they're busy telling the story of Alucard having a threesome. I thought, oh my god, this guy's gonna turn good. That's all I saw, and I think this is more ambitious. This could be more ambitious where they're going with this.
That's true.
Yeah,
because more ambitious because there's no simple storyline that we're following. There's like multiple storylines.
Well, I think Olrox is very complex. Like he killed Richter's mom, but he's not evil.
Yeah.
Like he's not. He's just gay. And he doesn't like the vampires. I think he's half human. I don't know if that's hinted at or not. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, he definitely has a thing against Erzsébet. So
yeah. And this show's very anti like religion, and it's the way they portray these priests. Yeah. I will say the other parallel I saw, both first seasons had a priest that were both evil, but we saw a more of an arc with this priest. His name being Abbott.
Abbott.
Maria's dad, right?
Oh yeah, this guy.
That's kind of a cool reveal.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't really invested in Maria's backstory. But let's see. To go off, I think Olrox is a more interesting character than any character in the first one. Okay. Alucard was pretty cool.
Yeah, Alucard was really cool.
Well, let's say this: Are Olrox and Richter gonna fight to the death? You don't even know, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of gray now.
That's kind of questionable because he's like
he helped them.
Yeah, he helped them escape. Well, I mean, he's trying to help Mizrak mostly, but
who's a human. Which makes me think he might be half human.
Possibly, yeah.
So he has and
with magic powers.
Are they gonna? Yeah, he can turn into smoke.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be a scene where him and Richter have a chat and it's like, okay, I forgive you for killing my mom. I get where you're coming. Like, are they gonna go there or are they gonna just fight?
Or
will Olrox sacrifice himself to save Richter, and they'll be like,
or have another bedroom scene they make it.
I mean, hope Richter is of age. That would be very inappropriate. Richter and Olrox and Alucard, and just build some big orgy at the end.
Yeah, there you go.
And Erzsébet's like, what the hell? I'm leaving France. You can have your revolution.
So, I wonder how long this is going to go. Like, so, I don't know if that's towards the end of the French Revolution or... Because the time frame, I don't know what the timeline is. But I wonder if they're also going to, go away from that and then just move on. Maybe because... Also, this is a little bit closer to, modern history or modern times. This is actual history that we're like kind of going through. So, where the hell am I going with this? What I'm trying to say is the flow of this show. I don't know if it's gonna. Where am I going with this?
Are you wondering if it's gonna be slow in this next season too? I'm wondering. I'm thinking that they got all the backstory out of the way. From Mizrak.
In a sense, yeah, because they did all the backdrop of everything. They did the background for everyone.
Most of them.
Yeah, or most of them. That's fair.
Yeah.
And so now they need to get into the actual fights and the actual things that
or
they
move
need
the plot
to,
along.
Yeah, something that's going to move along to. I don't know. I don't know if Endgame's going to be Erzsébet. Probably because she seems super damn powerful.
Well, Maria's mom is going to be a night creature.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, not a night creature, a vampire. Because
okay.
Because they said they didn't want to kill her. Erzsébet said she wanted her to become have eternal life or something like those lines. Basically, she wanted her to become a vampire.
I wonder if Edward's going to sing and she's going to be like, "Oh, I can't kill her." And she'll turn around and I don't know. I see something like that happening. Is someone just betraying their expectation?
Who? Tara? Or
Tara, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's still gonna have. Well,
it's like, wait, no.
How much of a soul do vampires have in this series? I mean,
I'm not familiar with humans turning into vampire. Was that in the first show?
Did they have someone turn into a vampire? They had
night creatures. They turned humans into night creatures, monsters.
And then they become soulless, but because they have to just listen to whatever the master says. Yeah. So they didn't really have any self-thought or free will, per se. But is that the same with vampires? It seems like vampires have more free will in this show. Like,
well, that should be a good vampire, right?
Yeah.
She just needs a little blood.
Because, like maybe initially she'll have bloodlust or something, and then she can't control it. But then eventually, when they become, I don't know, a seasoned enough vampire, they can control it.
That'd be very foolish of Ursabet.
Yeah.
To, like, just make her more powerful.
Yeah. But then...
and have her be a good guy.
Well, she sacrificed herself in order to make sure that she saves her daughter and Richter, and all of them.
Yeah.
So she says, choose me instead. You'll have a powerful magic user.
Yeah.
Or, how to say, spoken word.
Sorceress?
Yeah. No, they have a speaker. They call them speakers, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. No, they had a word for, like, whatever the magic people were. They're called, you're a speaker. You're a word speaker. Like, they're able to speak magic or something like that.
Okay. Wasn't sorcerer?
No.
Okay.
But anyways, so, like, Tara was saying, like, choose me. I'll be your speaker. I'll become a powerful.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I forget.
So then... That's my thought. Like, how much free will do they have? Are they going to have free will? Is she going to be able to think on her own? So she's not going to be able... Like, even if she is a vampire, she's not going to want to attack her own daughter.
If I were a bad guy, I would hope that I'd be confident. I would like to be confident enough to know that if I gave a good guy all this power, that they would not be good. Or there's be any chance of them turning against me.
Turn against me.
I hope this bad guy isn't stupid.
Yeah.
We know she's invulnerable. Like, nobody could hit her.
Yeah. Or maybe she's just like, screw it. I'm so powerful. Like, even if you tried anything, you can't do anything to me.
So he took, like, the Invincible star of Mario? The star. Yeah. It's invulnerable. Only for a minute, though.
I was like, what are you talking? Oh, yeah. Mario reference there. Star power. Yeah, it was that strong. Like, everyone just hit her with everything, and then just like,
Yeah, so I wonder, how they're gonna... I don't know. The one thing they didn't do, they didn't give her a backstory. I guess not all bad guys need one. She can just be inherently bad. I think sympathetic bad guys is kind of a modern thing.
We don't need
just
that.
Just be evil.
Yeah, we don't need that.
I don't need your backstory.
Yeah.
Cruella de Vil.
So maybe that's what they're making different with this one. So she could be endgame bad guy. I mean, it's plausible because she's that strong. Mm-hmm. So it's just all of them working out to become that much stronger to be able to beat her. Because I think the first one that they need to beat, which they already showed they could, was that... oh, no, she already died. Alucard sliced her, right? That
Yeah, I didn't write her name down.
Yeah. What the hell's that underling's name?
It's just stabbed right in the back or something.
Yeah.
Well, that was good, because I was like, that's too many bad guys.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, who else is going to be in between? Because they're not just going to just have a training montage and then fight Urzabet. There has to be something in between.
Oh, I think Edward's going to be a lot of filler. There's going to be a lot of philosophical talk about what it means to be human. Mm.
I feel like they just need to skip all that part.
Well, if they can be... They could have something good if they can make it not preachy.
Well, the other thing is they also don't have anyone else who can be doing any more night creatures, right? Because Abbott's dead. Oh, was the machine... I forgot. Was the machine put back into hell? It wasn't,
No,
right?
It wasn't.
It wasn't. It's still left there.
But did they kill... Abbott didn't die.
Oh, yeah. He didn't die. He was just crying, saying, don't kill my daughter.
I think that's another one. I think he's going to have a... He didn't die, right? He's alive.
Yeah, he's alive. He wasn't killed. He was still there.
He had a lot of regrets. And I think there's going to be sort of a... I think they're going to explore that too. Like how he's going to kind of reevaluate what it means to be a priest kind of thing.
His loyalty to God.
Yeah, or it's going to... He's going to change the meaning of what it means to be loyal to God or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's all about, okay, I have to do all these things in order to to keep God's land, or he was trying to protect the land or protect.
I feel like he'll have a turn because I feel like you can't have evil priest again. That's in the first show. You're gonna have an evil priest who figures it out and becomes good.
The evil priest that gets all these demons to fight in order to.
Yeah, what have I done?
Yeah,
you idiot. They can do it twice.
You mean another Death Star? Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of makes it like that. So, I getcha. So, overall, I mean, like we said, enjoyable show.
Yeah.
A lot of things that I feel like, okay, could be developed a little bit more. And stuff that could be kind of not explained so much. Like, there needs to be enough story about, I think, just the pure main characters and not so much of the side characters. I don't know if that kind of makes sense. But
no, it does. You're talking about Richter and Maria.
Yeah. Richter and Maria.
I don't think they had enough story.
Yeah. Like, I would have expected to learn more about them two, like, throughout the show. And not about Annette, who, I mean, maybe she will become a main character later on, but as of right now, she just feels like a side character.
Oh, I think she'll be a main character.
She's going to be a main character?
I think so.
Okay. Next season?
I think those three, I think those three and Alucard, I think that's kind of the...
Alucard, yeah. I mean, I don't expect him to be as big of a... Well, how do I say this?
No, the way he showed himself, I think he's going to be...
Yeah.
He might have a big role in this.
But then...
They're probably going to travel to his castle.
Mm-hmm. No, that's why I said, because he was heavily used in the first season, so I think they're going to use less of him. He's going to be more of the guy like, okay, I got to train you how... I got to teach you these spells, or I got to teach you how to fight, or, whatever. Like, he's going to be helping them power up, but he's not going to be the one to actually, I don't know, be the one, I guess, to fight or kill the Messiah. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Trevor was the one in the first.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Trevor and Cypher they seemed like they were as powerful as Alucard. Here, Alucard seems like he's much stronger than.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, you're also talking about how many hundreds of years. It's been centuries since that. So of course, over time, he's only
all that experience.
Yeah.
Man, the number of threesomes he must have had those hundreds of years.
Or maybe, maybe he thought twice. Because he did have, at the end of the first season, he did have that thing with that one human girl that recruited him to help defend their village. So.
Oh, I forgot.
Yep. Fresh in my mind.
I thought they just discovered him in the first season.
Yes and no. I mean.
It was only 4 episodes. It was short, right? It's like 4 or 5 episodes.
For what?
Season 1 of...
I don't remember season 1. I'm talking more towards the end of the...
Oh.
Because towards the end, he's in this castle. He's like just...
Yeah, what happened? It's like a mirror or something? And he can walk through it?
No, that wasn't that.
I forgot.
No. He was just in this castle. He was moping around because of the threesome of the two twins trying to kill him. So he was just like mopey.
So sad.
Yeah. And then...
Weren't there skulls like on the stakes in the front of his castle?
No, he took the two siblings and he put them up on stakes.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm doing what my dad did, Dracula, like putting dead bodies in front as a warning to people. Like, oh, what a drag, I'm copying my dad. But anyways, there's a town that's getting attacked by night creatures and all this kind of stuff. And
you're right. Yeah.
And then so they sent a messenger out to him to try, hey, help us. So that leader, that town's leader, was this chick, and then whatever. But anyways,
that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So she was human. I don't know if they're not going to explore that. That was last season. So
she's a corpse.
By now, yeah.
Yeah, he probably did the corpse.
Yeah.
That's Alucard's Way. Written by Warren Ellis, who I think I'll Google him after this, or I'll Google him tomorrow. But I think he got busted for being a creep.
Oh, okay. So we'll see. Well, not gonna have to worry about horniness anymore then. So
the fans complain enough. I know that. I think the general vibe I get from the internet is that people like the first show a little more.
Yeah.
This show is kind of a letdown, but they say it's still pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at comparisons. I've only looked at reviews that just talked about Nocturne by itself. I've even seen some reviews where people never seen the first original series and only seen Nocturne. And then the titles were like, who's Alucard? Who is this guy? Like...
Yeah, and that last season will be as cool.
Yeah. So then it's like, what the hell's going on? So it depends. Like, you got audiences that have seen the original and that have seen this as well. And then you have audience members that have only seen this new Nocturne one. So...
I feel like the majority of people have seen the first one.
Possibly. I mean, those who enjoy watching these types of like animated shows or series or different things, probably. Like me, for myself, like I almost didn't even finish the original series. I only watched the first 2 seasons, and I was into the third, but whatever happened in life, I forgot until the new one came out. I was like, oh, cool.
Well, I think third season does fall off. Because that's a threesome season, right?
Probably was. Season? I think that was by the 4th season. How
many seasons are there?
4.
It's 4. That's right.
Yeah.
Dracula dies in the second one. Dracula dies in season 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, the show could have ended there. But I think they got the budget to, like, hey, make one more season.
I think that's why, because I thought when they killed him, I thought that was the end.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why.
Ends well.
Yeah. And then it kept going. I was like, oh. So
Okay.
Yeah. So that's part of it, like, kept going. I didn't care for however many, a year, 2 years, or how long it's been out, until the new one came out. And it's like, oh, shoot, it's back. So
yeah,
watched that and went back to watch the other one. So
yeah. It was surprisingly good, that first one.
Yeah.
Because, video game-based TV shows or movies, mostly miss. Maybe there's some hits now, but...
A lot of misses.
Yeah. Well, I think the benefit of this is... There's not much Castlevania story or lore. Mm-hmm. It's just the ethos. Or just
nothing for the storytellers to screw up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they don't use Simon either.
Yeah.
Like Simon seems like the untouchable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe that's why. So.
Yeah.
How you feel about that? Pretty good.
I don't know. You tell me. I haven't.
I cut that off.
All right, now we can record. You can record now.
Okay, cool. Oh, shoot. I
forgot to record.
I forgot to record. Actually, we do have to do something for the end.
Yep.
So, I don't know what we already did a rating, but...
Cut to an ad break?
Ad break. Oh, that can always happen. And plus, we need advertisers. We don't have any advertisers.
We could just eat Doritos on the air. It's like, man, I love these Doritos. And see if Doritos will catch on and actually...
I hope I get sponsored by Doritos.
So crunchy.
Yeah. So delicious. Cool Ranch or nacho cheese?
Well, the answer is Cool Ranch. But I wouldn't complain for either. I lost my notes. My app crashed.
Oh, no.
Well, I guess I said everything I had to say.
Overall rating, we gave it probably 3.5. That seems fair, I think.
I do, and I think it could end up being a better show.
Yeah,
just because I think they have some stuff to work with.
So we give it 3.5, a solid C, and with
C minus.
But we see a potential of more story, more development, more, I guess, richer story.
Richter.
Yeah, Richter and Maria and Annette.
Yeah.
And Alucard. Again.
You can't have just mindless action. There has to be a story there that leads to the action. Otherwise, you have Transformers. It's just noise.
Hey, those are blockbusters too, man. Well, except the latest ones.
They're not doing very well now.
Yeah, no. Last one was trash.
The 6 times the charm.
Yeah, last one's trash. Forget it. But anyways, so that's it from us. I think that's pretty much it. We're looking forward to season 2 of Castlevania Nocturne and see if it knocks us off our feet or puts us to sleep.
Oh,
rhyme.
I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant Nocturne and sleep. Is that?
Oh, that too.
Oh, you didn't catch that.
I'm gonna have to cut that off. I'm gonna strip that part out and just make it seem like I'm smarter than I was.
I thought you came with that on the fly.
You know what? Probably subconsciously, I probably did.
Yeah. I mean, it is late.
Yeah. Little quips.
All right.
Cool.
So up next week we will have Bulworth starring Warren Beatty
and Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy will build up to that.
Yeah, that'll be all the filler episodes that we work on.
We're gonna do a Warren Beatty filmography.
Oh man, I don't think I've ever seen anything else of Warren Beatty besides Dick Tracy.
He's actually a very good actor. I also heard he's an ass. Oh, no profanity.
Whatever. I put explicit on there.
Okay,
so it's fine.
I heard he's a real jerk.
We can keep it PG. I could change it. I don't think we have ever even cussed in this. Did we cuss? No, we didn't.
I don't think so. I'm pretty good with
not cussing. All right, cool.
Cool.
So we're gonna end it there, and yeah, until next time, everyone.
Yep. Bye.